Alright, you guys, so today is sadly the last day of our Halloween themed pictures. Now, that's not going to stop me in the future to be making some cool, creepy drawings for you guys, but this is the end of the Halloween portion. Now, the last drawing I'm going to do for the Halloween portion is a human skull. Now, for me, human skulls have always been part of Halloween decorations I've seen. It's always super creepy to see a skeleton sitting on a porch or dropping down from a tree. So this was one of the number one things that I always saw on Halloween that I thought would be super fun to draw. Regardless of Halloween, I always think human skulls are just so interesting to draw. It's what's inside of all of us. So it's really cool to know the nooks and crannies and being able to recreate that. The human skull has always just been so interesting to me. I have always tried to draw it as a kid. I have never been able to draw it quite as good as I can nowadays. When I was younger, of course, it has taken some practice, but now I've gotten to a point where I think it's really fun and I can draw a pretty darn realistic one if I do say so myself. So I am definitely excited to show you guys what these look like. Now, of course, before we get into a little bit of the explanation of the drawing process, I'm going to tell you guys some really cool facts about the human skull. Now, I was thinking of telling you guys some Halloween facts, but I think learning about the human skull by itself right now is just something so interesting and fun because there is a lot of cool things that you might not know about it. So the first skull fact I have for you guys is an adult skull has 22 different bones in it. That's a lot more than I really expected, honestly. And out of these 22 bones, only one of these bones is able to move. And as you might have been able to guess, it's your jaw. On average, it takes around 785 pounds to crush a human skull. There are tons of tiny small holes in your skull called foramina. I could be saying that wrong. I'm not too sure. But the purpose of these small holes is to make room for nerves and blood vessels to get through. Honestly, that kind of grosses me out. I don't know about you guys, but just hearing that, little small holes in your skull is just super weird to me. But it does make sense. The appearance of human skulls vary based on your sex and where you're from in the world. Out of the 22 bones in your skull, a whopping 14 of them are what makes up your facial structure. And lastly, your teeth are actually not considered part of your skull bones. They are actually not bones at all. They are made up from hard minerals such as calcium. Alright, you guys, so let's get into the drawing portion a little bit more. And I know I bring this up every time about colored pencils, but they literally drive me insane. It just really bothers me that you can't fix it once you've drawn it. As you can see, the skull on the right looks a little bit more alien than the one on the left. But, you know, he's fun. We're gonna make him green and weird, which is not a human skull anyways, so we're just gonna go with his uniqueness. So the thing that makes it a little bit more difficult drawing a human skull is there's a lot of bones that overlap each other, a lot of things that are underneath each other, and a lot of shadows. So if you don't get those right and overlap properly and get the right shadows, your skull can look very flat or a little bit weird. So that's definitely one of the main things about skulls is it is very important to get the shading right. Now, for me, that's not really a problem. Shading is one of my favorite things to do, so honestly, it's just fun to have a challenge like drawing a skull with the different types of shading and layers. Now, a tip I actually just thought of as I was watching myself draw this out right now is maybe start in pencil before you add the color to get the shape right. I don't know why that just came to my brain now. Like, honestly, that should have been kind of obvious. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I guess I was thinking like absolutely no pencil on the color one, but it will disappear once you color it in. So maybe that's the way to go. Next one, I will definitely be trying that, so we'll see if it works out or not. So stay tuned to see how that works. But overall, I don't think it's too bad. I think he is very fun. He looks pretty cool. The one on the left is a little bit more uniform, a little more perfect, but that kind of just happens with the pencil drawing. So that's totally fine and honestly expected at this point. So as you can see, I'm slowly just adding layers, darkening the parts that need to be dark, and I'm going to continue that process of layering and continuing to add that beautiful contrast that we want. And I will show you the layers quickly through. Alright you guys, so these are about where I want them to be. So now I'm just going to add some background and some gel highlighter and I'll be right back. Alright you guys, so here they are. Honestly, I am so happy with both of them. I think they both turned out really, really rad and look awesome. Now, I want to point out something about the backgrounds. In every video I've done for the colored drawing, I've been adding specific colors for the background. Now, another way to add contrast to pictures is to use colors on the opposite ends of the color wheel. Now, if some of you out there aren't familiar with the color wheel, now as you see for this green one, the opposite of the color wheel for green is red. So I used a dark burgundy, so it would give contrast to the lights of the skull and also give contrast to the green. That was just a little tidbit I wanted to throw in there for you guys because I do the backgrounds intentionally and I just wanted to let you guys know why, because it adds another layer of contrast. And if the picture is dark, I'll try and use a lighter background. If the picture is mostly light, I'll try and use a darker background like I have done here. Now, as for my favorite this week, I think honestly, I really like the janky green skull, to be honest with you. He's just so cool. I think a green skull looks really awesome. He is a little bit wonky, but he just looks so fun and cartoony, but also kind of real. So that's why he's my favorite this week. Let me know down in the comments below, you guys, which one's your favorite this week? Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed drawing these really, really fun skulls for you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. It is really important for me to know that you guys are enjoying my content and you're coming back for more. Also, if you guys enjoyed this week's video, please don't forget to check out my last week's video, which I'll link at the end of this. I hope you all have a very good rest of your day, and I will see you guys next week for 2 new drawings.